Fermata are used to interrupt the rhythmic flow of a work or to highlight a musical moment in time. There are 4 types of fermata, and they are identified by the notation that follows them. The grand pause fermata, the caesura fermata, the comma fermata, and the fermata that has no notation associated with it. Each of these requires a different conducting gesture. The conductor must think about 2 things when conducting a fermata. First, how to release the fermata, and second, what to do during the fermata. Since we call fermata holds, you might think that the conductor should hold still and not move during the fermata, but this is rarely successful. Doing so often causes the ensemble to diminuendo or lose energy, or sometimes even stop singing or playing. I recommend that you conduct fermatas with both hands. And in order to maintain the energy in a fermata, you should conduct a slow and very small horizontal travel throughout the fermata. You will also find that it is necessary to rebeat the fermata beat as a preparatory beat for the forward motion. This will make more sense as I demonstrate the different types of fermatas. The grand pause fermata is the easiest fermata to conduct. This is because the release of the fermata is a typical release in the style of the music being conducted. Then during the grand pause, the conductor should hold still because you do not want to initiate any sound. At the end of the grand pause, you give a typical preparatory beat for the music that follows. The grand pause fermata is a good example of the rebeat concept. For example, if the fermata in a grand pause fermata is on count 3, we would begin the fermata by our slow horizontal travel, pulling apart just a little bit, and then give the normal release, hold still, and then give count 3 again as the prep to go on to 4. So in this case, beat 3 actually happens 3 times. The fermata on beat 3, the release of beat 3, because you need to come back to a position that puts you in a good spot to go forward, and then the 3rd time beat 3 happens is for the prep for count 4. The caesura fermata is very similar to the grand pause fermata. In fact, the only difference is in the length of the break between the fermata note and the note that follows. And in the caesura case, it is shorter than the grand pause break. The comma fermata requires the conductor to combine 2 conducting gestures, the release gesture and the prep gesture, in one fluid, smooth gesture. In this particular gesture, the ictus point of the release and the prep must be the same spot. The comma in the fermata indicates a lift or a breath, not a full stop kind of break. So in this fermata, we would conduct our slow horizontal travel again during the fermata, then give our release, identify the ictus point, and go directly on to the preparatory beat without a break. And in real time, this looks like this. So once again, the slow travel, the release turns into a vertical prep gesture. The most difficult fermata to conduct is the fermata that has no break between the fermata note and the note that follows it. In this case, you cannot turn your hands over or make any release-like gesture where the ensemble will perform a break. To perform this particular fermata, we once again start with our horizontal, slow travel, and when we're ready to go forward, we identify the ictus point and change our horizontal movement into a vertical movement. This forms sort of a U shape or a rounded U shape between the travel on the fermata and the travel on the prep beat. And the travel changes from a slow travel on the fermata to a faster travel on the vertical prep beat. You might also notice in this particular gesture that I am dragging the tip of my baton and fingers behind my wrist as I conduct the vertical gesture. So once again, we drag during the fermata and then speed up the travel to go forward. The tenuto gesture is a simple lengthening of one of the beats within a beat pattern. If we're going to elongate this beat, all we need to do is slow down the travel of that beat and then speed the travel up when we change directions to go on. For example, if we want to elongate beat 4 of a 4/4 pattern, it might look like this. Drag, and then speed up as you change directions with your hands. Once again, as I do the vertical gesture, I'm dropping the tip of my baton and fingers and letting my wrists lead the travel upwards. This helps slow down the travel and helps with the change of direction as well. You will need to do a good deal of practice in order to confidently maintain and release fermatas and tenutos.